So as long as it's fresh in my mind, I'm going to do another Latvian Gambit Declined, a game that I played frequently, or recently rather. And it has to do with an interesting decision White makes early on. A lot of times what you discover is that the stronger the player, the less he spends time learning the Latvian Gambit, and the more he spends time just simply creating a situation that he thinks is good for White by declining it. And what we're going to do is find one of these. This is an early d4 from White, and we were able to establish a pawn on e4, and we were able to protect it through a variety of means, and we were able to occupy the center rather well, actually. So, without further ado, we're going to take a look at this game. I'll turn on the engine. We're already in the position that the computer says we're way behind in. There's the d4 declined method, which is an attempt to move it into an entirely different kind of opening. So, strangely enough, this computer says that he should be moving knight on f to d2, and he takes. Now bishop to e2 is an appropriate response that he does not make, and we chase. Now it wants me to move d5 and allow his knight right back where it was, which I delay. So I understand that Stockfish did not like my move either. It says it gives White a solid advantage with bishop to g5, which he played. So it's not much of a solid advantage. Now the precise move is knight on b to d7. Instead I just interpose. I'd have been a little more aggressive to play d5 and try to get that thing on d6, but I'm playing a variation here where I'm going to allow him to push to d5 and occupy the e5 square with my queen's knight. So these are natural response. White's building an advantage. The question is what to do with the advantage. So comes at h4 is the good move, and instead he just chooses to stop me from castling, and I immediately respond by trying to cut him off. So what should he do here? Computer says bishop to e6. That's the kind of move most people just don't think of. So he pushes, which gives me the advantage right away. So obviously the little tactical trick knight takes e5 ought to work here, and I didn't do it. So instead I took my time and allowed him to go wrong some more, although it's an even game from what you can see. So now it says e takes f3 is the right move. Now why is that? Probably because you can follow it up with knight to e5 and do all kinds of harassing type things. So e takes f3, d takes c6. First it's suggesting. So we didn't do that. We moved knight to e5 right away, which amazingly the computer now says is an even better move. So now it says he should be pushing f4, which he doesn't do. He retreats. Now we just simply take it, and now his queen can't take back. So that was the idea of moving knight to e5. Now the question is, how do we take advantage of this situation? And really, if we're going to try for an advantage, we have to go for that pawn. The question becomes, do we leave our king in the middle? Because you still got that good bishop. And it says that Stockfish recommends he takes the bishop, in which case we take back. Or we can even play knight takes e3, in either case. So he played knight takes knight, and now it says we have an advantage of like 3. Now he came up with this f4 move, which is a interesting move, and I just assumed that he was getting a piece back. And there were a number of little nuances I completely missed here. He forks me, and now the nuance that I'm missing is if I just take it, I get the piece back with queen to h4 check and a powerful position. Instead, I take the wrong thing. I took the knight. Instead of being up 4, I'm up almost 3. Now it says he should be castling, but he has to get his piece back. And now, of course, for a long time I looked at this and I thought, queen to g5 is probably the most powerful move here. But I didn't really want to leave my king in the middle, and I chickened out. Now, it's not just that I don't want to leave my king in the middle. It's that I also want to stop him from castling. Even though his castle position is wide open over there, I still want to stop him from castling, force him to try to go queenside. So I missed the big killer shot, and I'm going to only be up close to 2. And now he should be taking bishop takes check, which would have been fine with me. I still believe I have a winning advantage. Instead, he takes with a knight, which is a huge clunker. Now, obviously, there's double checks involved, so I'm going to have to move, somewhere, somehow. It says right now that king to h8 is the way to go, but I check first. So now it says it's not the way to go. It says checking was the right thing. Except it says, interestingly, now he should sack his queen and only be down 7. I don't know what he gets for that. It doesn't look like much. So he moved his king, which is what I thought was correct. Now I move my king. Now he's down 7 or 8 and completely, utterly, magnificently lost. So he has to move knight to e3. He is an indefensible position. Stockfish is saying knight to f6 check. Maybe doing some sort of weird exchange like that. I don't know. So I'm making all the correct moves according to the computer. So now there's a mate at 9. Look at that. So I missed a mate at 9. Doesn't surprise me. And of course, this game was over at this point because, we're up too far in material, and his king is completely exposed. It takes back bishop to h4 checks, coming, winning his queen. So we'll stop this here, and just an interesting thing that happened against a very highly rated player who went awry, declining this gambit.